Okay, we're back. I think we might just get straight into this episode. We won't have too much of a prelude like I normally record. So let's get straight into it. You might remember from last episode we were in a really frustrating puzzle, but we've still got Princess Ruto and we're kind of circling back around again. We're coming back to the room that we were just in, basically. We need to get back into it to move forward so that we can get rid of that green tail kind of sticking through the hole that we need to get into to land on the higher side of the room down the bottom. So what we do is we basically run all the way to the end of this room. We avoid all the holes, all the pits in the floor, and we definitely avoid one of those things. Now this is really frustrating. I don't think you can actually kill these monsters here. These little snaky claw things. I try my best to kill them. You can throw a Deku Nut at them, but there's no way of shooting them with a seed or killing them with your sword. There's no way to get rid of them, so I think the best policy is actually just to ignore them. Don't do what I'm doing here and lose a lot of health getting hit by them. It is really frustrating. I think it's not fair. It's not fair to make an enemy that you can't get rid of without any kind of choreographing or signaling, some sort of contextual cue. There should be a little bit more information about what to do. So this switch, we need both people in order to press. We need both Princess Ruto and us to press it, and then that'll open the door. And this will take us through to our first real dungeon room. What we have to do in this room is kill these little flying stingray things. The only way to get them up out of the ground is to throw a Deku Nut at them. And like we found out, you can't shoot them twice in quick succession. You've got to wait, which is really frustrating. Because it's just deliberately slowing down the game in a really cheap way. And they're difficult to get to, and I think they can hit you while they're in the air. I've never been hit by one yet, but they're just slow, difficult to get rid of. And they're small as well. They're very small. Right, this might be the compass. Oh no, it's the boomerang. It's the main item of this dungeon. Well, it's good that you get it so early. It actually solves a lot of problems because a lot of the enemies that you find in this dungeon can actually be killed properly by this item, which I think is the main experience in Zelda. You know, go into a dungeon, find the main item, kill everything with it, exit, move on to the next dungeon. Right, this can be pretty complicated if you don't know where you're going. You have to run right to the end of the next hall, basically. You run right to the opposite end. And you're kind of on a conveyor belt as well. If you stay in one area too long, you end up being, dragged to another area. Another part of the corridor. We have to leave Princess Ruto here. We have to leave her and we have to go into this room. Alright. This thing looks like something, but it's not. That's not what it is. It's more like a tonsil. More like some sort of infectious growth as opposed to some other appendage that you may be tempted to compare it to. This took me a while to figure out how to kill it. You actually have to get closer to it in order to drag it down, in order to coax it down. You can't shoot it with a slingshot. But I do like how the room reacts to being hit by a slingshot seed. Kind of rides in pain. Yeah, you have to get a bit closer. It's a little bit of a dance. It's actually quite a nice challenge, or nice puzzle. You gotta throw it at the right time. Work out the timing. Now this might be the compass, or it might be the map. It's some important dungeon item that we need in order to advance. And every time we kill one of these dongle type things, it unlocks a door. It gets rid of a lock on one of the doors later on. Yep, it's the map. And this is pretty useful because the chamber here, all the corridors here are all really rectilinear, and it's kind of like trying to drive in a really busy city. You can get confused about which direction you need to take because there's so many different places that can throw you off. So many different turns, and everything's really highly abstract. Right, that door's locked now, but that's alright. We're gonna get chided a little bit by Princess Ruto. But she forgives you, which is fair enough. And I think this is one of the only places where she doesn't return back to a room really far away when you leave her behind. No, I'm actually not sure. She might always just be in the last room that you left her. And this is Navi stating the obvious. So if you've been paying attention, you would have noticed that like the red tail, the red slimy thing was locking the door. Right, this is just a simple challenge. We have very little Deku nuts left, so we have to make good use of them. Luckily the area of effect is pretty large. There's one more left. We just need to work out where it is. Small field division. If you think about it, this dungeon is actually pretty straightforward. It just has some annoying facets to it, some annoying puzzles. Because you can actually get through it quite quickly if you know what you're doing. Right, the compass. Let's pause for a bit, enjoy its model. I think this is me checking my guide again. Yeah, wait till we can get to a nice cut. Right, now we have to head into the center room, I think? Or is it down the hall and then the second left? Yeah, second left is that, I think. Because unlocking... No, okay, there's a tail in here that we need to get rid of. Let's, I think our skills would have developed in the last couple of minutes. Work out exactly how to kill this dongle type thing. It's kind of crazy how there actually is just no name for what this is. I always thought it was like a tonsil. It's a good example of like how Japanese sensibilities are really different to Western ones. Right, that's simple. There's no item in this room. It can be pretty confusing though because we've gotten items in every single other room. I'm just trying to figure out what to do next, which direction to take. I think it's directly into the middle pathway now, so we take the first. I see I'm confused now. We take the first right. So we take a right, then another right. Head into the middle room. I think this will be the last tail we need to cut. So we cut a red tail, we cut a blue tail, and now this is the green tail. And by cutting the green tail, we can open up the path to the higher part of the room in the dungeon. I think my first policy was to try and kill these little jellyfish first, because I predicted that they would get in the way. I'm not sure if they did, but yeah, killing them with the boomerang, a lot faster. Much easier. Let's pick up some health. Quite nice. Right, now we are free to get rid of this tail. Tonsil thing, dongle, whatever it is. There really is no name for it. It's the most bizarre thing. Right, there's no item here. This literally just unlocks the path. It'd be kind of nice if Navi gave you a few more contextual cues about exactly what you were doing. Like if you walked up to that tail later on earlier on in the dungeon and you found out that, oh, it's blocking the path. How do we get rid of it? Maybe she does do that, but I didn't find out. But anyway, we'll end the episode here. I was kind of expecting the episode to go on a bit longer. I was kind of enjoying myself. All right, I'll see you guys next time. We will be 75% of the way through the dungeon next episode, so look forward to it. We'll go definitely moving on. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit.